I learned the most important swimming skill when I was 7. When I started this channel at 26, I'd already forgotten how and why I learned it. I did it instinctively and trained it every day. It wasn't until I spent years researching, reading your comments, and teaching how to swim in person that I discovered just how important this skill really is. Later on this video, we will talk about why it is the most important swimming skill and know if you need to improve it or focus on something else. For many people, swimming is a mystery. They can run very fast and far without getting tired, but when they swim a lap in the pool, they get very tired. When I saw that, I said, that's strange. The opposite happens to me. I can swim for hours and hours without getting very tired, but just a few minutes of running makes me tired. Eventually, I figured it out. But at first, I thought it was just technique. The difference between good and bad technique in swimming is very noticeable. But there is something even more fundamental than technique, something that could be improved and was hidden in plain sight. I discovered that in swimming, this skill is twice as important as in running. The way you breathe is very important, but the quantity and the control are even more important. Why doesn't running or biking endurance translate directly to swimming endurance? I can't say I found a definitive answer, but I have found very convincing results. Your endurance in a certain sport is made up of 3 parts: technique, specific strength, and oxygen consumption. In this occasion, we're interested in the third, the oxygen consumption. Improving this improves your endurance in any sport or any activity in life, but especially in swimming. In swimming, the air in your lungs has 2 functions: to deliver oxygen to the muscles and brain and to help you float. Imagine trying to teach your native language to someone who doesn't speak it. You can't start by giving them a 600-page philosophy book. Most teachers would start with nouns, verbs, sentence structure, etc. You could do that. It is effective, but a little boring. What if you taught them just one phrase that was so good they could use it in many occasions? Today, when I was swimming, I found that if I let my ankles move a little more freely during the underwater dolphin kicks after the turn, I move a little faster. I wanted to do a whole video on that, but that wouldn't be helpful for many of you. It would be like giving you a philosophy book to start to learn German. So I decided to make a video that could help more people. What about a video that breaks down the best way to do a flip turn? It wouldn't be useful for those of you who can't swim well. How about a video on how to push yourself off the wall correctly? That's fine, but boring for someone who has been able to do it well for a long time. Having perfect control of the air in your lungs is the most important swimming skill. So let's break this skill down before we move on to the other skills. When you're swimming, your face will be in the water most of the time, or at least it should be. When a good swimmer swims freestyle, they inhale a quarter of a second every 2 or 3 strokes. The same in butterfly. In breaststroke, you breathe more often, but the underwater pullout is still very challenging on your lung capacity. In backstroke, your face is always out, but you shouldn't be breathing constantly. You should get into a breathing rhythm similar to freestyle, breathing fast every 2 or 3 strokes. One of the reasons why swimming is so difficult to teach and learn is because it's not only a physical exercise, it's also a breathing exercise. So at any swimming level, in any stroke or technique, the more efficient your oxygen consumption is, the easier it is to swim. You can benefit a lot in swimming and in your life outside of the pool if you know how to control your breathing. The problem is that most of us don't even know that we don't control our breathing well. I was in that group. I never paid attention to the way or amount of breath I took until I started teaching how to swim better. I'm not saying you should always be thinking about your breathing. Sometimes it is better to pay attention to something else. For example, if you're trying to pull water more efficiently with your hands, you shouldn't be thinking about your breathing. In fact, we recommend using a snorkel to take your mind off your breathing and focus on your hand technique instead. Same thing if you're trying to synchronize your kick with your stroke. If you're trying to fix some other part of your swimming technique, just focus on that. What we have tried and has worked well is to focus on the breathing before trying to improve your technique. Since breathing is a crucial part of swimming, sometimes fixing your breathing technique can fix other parts of your swimming technique. The clearest example is that by having more air in your lungs, It will naturally lift your hips and legs a little bit. That cannot be done if your breathing is out of control and you're exhaling all the air as soon as your face is in the water. It's also not good to hold your breath as long as you can while swimming. A breathing rhythm is needed. The best way to tell if breathing control is a major problem for you is to do this exercise. If you have a heart condition, are alone in the pool without a lifeguard, or are pregnant, avoid doing this exercise. We will have other exercises for everyone in the future. It is very important to never hyperventilate before doing this exercise. Breathe normally for 15 seconds. Then take a deep breath, lower your face underwater, and exhale as slow as possible. Make sure that your first inhalation after the long exhalation is through the nose and not through the mouth. Do not inhale air too quickly, or you will inhale the water that runs through your face. After the long exhalation, try to calm yourself by breathing as slowly as you can. Some people won't even be able to exhale underwater at first. Others will not be able to do a continuous exhalation. Be careful and don't push yourself too hard on this particular test. I think if you can exhale for 30 seconds or more, you're not bad. I lasted 45 seconds exhaling, but Maria lasted 1 minute and 15 seconds when we did this activity in our Florida camp. To be sure what is a good score and what is a bad one, we need a larger sample of participants. Generally, I don't know if I have a weakness unless I compare myself to a lot of other people. If I am average on one skill, it means that it is neither a weakness nor a strength. If I'm one of the best, it means that it is a strength, and I don't need to focus as much on improving that skill. Instead, I can use it to my advantage. If I'm one of the worst, then it is a weakness and a very good area of opportunity. To find out how good you are at controlling your breath, do this activity with us. You can do this exercise now without putting your head in the water and tell us your score in the comments. Or you can do it officially by doing this exercise in the pool, putting your result in our mobile app. The Skills and Talents community, that is, you and us, have repeatedly been original and effective at discovering the best ways to learn and teach swimming skills. With this new test, we will know where we all rank in the long exhale challenge. The only thing you need to do is to download the Skills and T app on Play Store or App Store and enter your results honestly. We will talk about the results and the best ways to improve this skill in the next video. If you want to see a video on how to breathe to swim with less effort, click here. See you there. Swim fast.